Hello, my name's Mark, I'm the Whisky Critic, and welcome to my first whisky review. And today we're going to be looking at Old Pulteney number 12. The first thing I like to do whenever I pick up a new bottle of whisky is I have a little bit of a look at the box that it comes in. I like to know that all my money's gone on the contents of the bottle. So when you see boxes with velvet inserts and all sorts, it doesn't really do a lot for me. Pulteney have done a good job here. It's cardboard, tin lid, and yeah, it's fine, we'll accept that. One thing you notice immediately is Pulteney is very proud of Wick's maritime history, and that's displayed there with a heron drifter on the front of the bottle, and it's known as the maritime malt. And as I said, it comes from the Pulteney distillery, which is in Wick, in Scotland, and it's Scotland's northernmost mainland distillery. So yeah, let's have a look at the bottle. I really like this bottle. It's reminiscent of a copper pot still, and that maritime feel continues. You've got waves here along the bottle. You've got like a compass design at the bottom, and you've got another heron drifter on the back there. It's bottled at 40%. It's chill filtered. So very quickly, whisky that is below 46%, that is generally chill filtered. What that means is chill filtration is a way of removing the fats, proteins, and esters to help keep the whisky nice and clear. So when you pour a drop and you add an ice cube, you don't get that haze that appears. Distillers felt that that was undesirable because they want their whisky to look pristine every time it's poured. They want their whisky to taste and feel and look exactly the same throughout their range. So on that note, it's also got a bit of caramel added for colouring as well. The issue with chill filtration and adding colouring is you're taking away the essence and tradition of the distilling process. And whisky distilling is steeped in history and tradition. So it doesn't go down well with the whisky purist. But I'm not going to hold it against it just yet. Let's taste it first. I always have a little sniff of the cork as well whenever I'm opening a new whisky. Helps to begin the process of establishing the flavour. I'll pour a little drop there. I always give the glass a little twizzle. It helps open the whisky up. I'm trying to keep my little finger in there. My wife always says when I stick my finger out, it makes it look like I'm having tea at an old lady's house rather than drinking a whisky. A little twizzle there, and on the nose. So when you put your nose to Old Pulteney 12-year-old, you immediately get hit with a very sweet floral note. There is a slight undertone of salt on the nose. There are a few whisky commentators that feel that this whisky exudes salt, but it really doesn't. There's a slight undertone. It's not particularly prominent for me, but it is on the coast, and you do find with coastal distilleries that you will get a slight undertone of salt, both on the nose and on the palate. There is a slight nutty nose to the whisky as well. So on the palate, this has quite a complex nose and quite a complex palate. Fresh fruits is quite predominant here. You also taste a bit of honey, vanilla, and a little bit of spice as well. There's an undertone of ginger, and again you can get a little bit of that salt coming through, but I would have said it was less prominent on the palate than it was on the nose. And the whisky finishes again with a bit of a nutty note. I would have said hazelnut. The finish is quite medium in length, and it's a very nice, very enjoyable whiskey. I really like that. It's an absolute bargain, 25 quid local for supermarket. And I'm going to give Old Pulteney 3 stars. If you want to know a bit more about my star rating, you'll see that on my Facebook group. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'm also on Twitter, the Whisky Critic. I'm also on Instagram as well. And you'll find me on Facebook, again, the Whisky Critic. I post all different news about whiskey, and you'll get to hear about my next reviews as well. On that note, my next review will be Glenmorangie 10-year-old, and also it's a easily accessible whiskey, relatively inexpensive, and another personal favourite of mine. So, cheers.